the Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Man, the Cardiac Cocks did it again, didn't they?
Attaboy, Dunaway.
And so did the Phillies. We'll get to those coming up in a second. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Rockstar, Ryan Brown, out of sequence there. Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, Rockstar. Forster, Tyler, Lunsford, Taylor Korn is handling everything social media. E.g., Emily Grace is on her way down to SEC Basketball Media Day.
That's right, Jimmy.
It's a busy, busy time this time of year. Let's start a little bit before we get to the games we saw on the field last night, and we'll ignore a little bit of the games you'll see on the field tonight. This is one of those where we said we got 56 straight days of football. I think we were probably stretching it a bit with these two Conference USA games tonight.
Wow.
Okay. I mean, technically it is football.
It's football.
I think last night as well.
Hey.
Yeah. Hey, tonight, though, is why you should be a member at lanceslog.com, because if you don't have anything on the no-win Sam Houston game and the winless in conference, whoever they play game tonight, FIU.
UTEP and FIU, right?
No, it's FIU and Sam Houston. Yeah. Both winless in conference play. Sam Houston hasn't won a game all year, and they're a 5-point favorite.
Well,
what? They haven't won a game all year, and they're a 5-point favorite?
You know, some books have taken that number down. I really don't know why. But, yeah.
We got a key injury, you think?
I don't know. I mean, I'm seeing 5.5 at one right now. New Mexico State is the other game with UTEP. UTEP FIU was last week on tonight. Yeah, last Wednesday.
New Mexico State, UTEP. The better game tonight, 8 o'clock ESPN 2, +3 there. But let's start. We're at midway point for all of college football now, all of it. And our friends at 24/7, Clint Brewster is the guy who did this.
Clint Brewster?
Yeah, at 24/7. Love his ice cream.
Related to Tim Brewster?
I don't know. 24/7.
Does he have $1 million?
He has ranked all 69 Brewster's Millions.
Thank you,
all
Jeff.
69.
They made that movie today. It would be 100 million, right?
Yeah,
Brewster's Billions.
Wouldn't get you very far.
He's ranked all 69 Power 5 quarterbacks. So if I asked you, just take a guess first where Jalen Milroe would rank out of 69 Power 5 quarterbacks.
69 Power 5 quarterbacks. I'm going to say he's got Jalen Milroe 32nd.
I would say 28.
32nd?
Yes, Jim.
28. 14th.
Okay.
I mean, you're telling me Alabama's getting 14th quarterback play?
It certainly does not feel that way, but Alabama is, in fact, a one-loss team.
Yeah.
I mean, Milroe is 7th in the conference in yards per game. I mean, just if I just told you 64, do you think he's a 64% passer? Is that what?
That's about right.
Is that what it feels like watching him to you? Okay. 1,300, really 1,400 yards. He's 3 yards away. His next completion will get him over 1,400 yards basically Saturday. I mean, does he feel like he's throwing for 1,400 yards to you?
Oh, it seems like we trash him all the time.
Well, and 11 touchdowns, 4 picks. I will say this for Milroe. That's the thing he's cut back on. Didn't he throw 2 picks against Texas? Am I right about that?
Yeah.
So he's only thrown 2 since Texas.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you're right.
Or 1. So he has really, really cut back on the on turning the ball over. Yeah, he's got interception against Ole Miss and interception against A&M. That's it.
Are you guys surprised that by this guy at 24/7 considered to be the 14th best power? I mean, you start naming Pac-12 guys and you almost get down to 14.
Well, can
you throw in Quinn Ewers and the other, you get down to 14.
Well, let's do this. I mean, I don't know what you want to do here. I'm not trying to steer your conversation.
Well, we're going to get to the cocky cocks in a little bit.
Yes, but can you give me like 15 through 20 and see if we'd take any of those over Jalen Hurts or Jalen Milroe? You don't have it in front of you?
I don't have it in front of me.
I'm sorry.
But no, I can go back to it. It's no big deal. But it's the usual people at the top, Brown.
Well, let me just do this, Lance.
It's Caleb and those guys.
SEC quarterbacks that are in front of Jalen Milroe, in terms of yards per game, how many would you take over Milroe?
Right now, SEC quarterbacks that I would take over Milroe. I think we know Jaden Daniels. I think we know Carson Beck.
Yep. All right. Brady Cook.
Would take Brady Cook.
Spencer Rattler.
I would take Spencer Rattler.
Jackson Dart.
I would take Jackson Dart.
Graham Mertz.
That's where it ends. And I know Mertz has got pretty good numbers.
I mean, so that gets you to 6 in the conference, which...
By the way, Jackson Dart, 2 behind Jalen Milroe on Clint's rankings.
Jackson Dart's a better quarterback.
Yeah, Dart, I mean, the numbers are a lot alike, though. If you just go on a numbers argument, they're a lot alike. But watching it feels like Dart's the better of the 2 quarterbacks.
In this order, Penix, Williams, Jaden Daniels, SEC, Drake May. That's your top 4.
Well, it's going to be everybody's top 4, probably.
Shadur and Bo, 5 and 6. Dylan Gabriel, 7. J.J. McCarthy's played nobody, but everybody expects him to play great when he does.
I got no problem
8.
so far.
Carson Beck, 9.
All right.
You okay with that?
Yep.
Jordan Travis, no respect at all for this kid. Should be in the Heisman Trophy.
I agree. I think maybe higher than 10, but I don't know who I'd bump out of there either.
Drew Aller, big game this week.
Yeah.
Quinn Ewers, Kyle McCord,
is that 13th?
And Jalen Milroe.
I mean, honest to goodness, I'd
take Jalen Milroe over Kyle McCord. I'll say it right here.
Have they been that different to you, Kyle McCord and Jalen Milroe?
I mean, Kyle McCord's more accurate.
What is his, statistics?
But it's tough to say because he's got a better offensive line. He's got better receivers.
The completion percentage is exactly the same, 64%.
You're right. You put Jalen Milroe with that Ohio State talent behind that Ohio State offensive line against the Ohio State competition.
With Jalen Milroe's skill set and the way Ryan Day calls plays for quarterbacks that are mobile, Milroe would be a stud at Ohio State with those receivers.
Jalen, don't call me C.J. Stroud. Milroe is what they'd be saying.
Well, and likewise, if you
probably not, it's a little wordy.
If you it is a bad nickname. If you drop those receivers in Tuscaloosa, Alabama could be undefeated and
but
top
if you
5
drop
team.
McCord with that offensive line and those receivers, it would be a disaster.
Yeah.
If you so the combo you don't want is McCord behind Bama's line with Bama's receivers.
That's right. No.
Yeah, that's the one we don't want.
Jack Plummer, Jackson Dart, Cam Ward, DJU, Spencer Rattler, Tyler Van Dyke's your top 20. Now let's go to the other side of the state.
Cam Ward's stock, though.
I would say that there is a chance.
69 Power 5 quarterbacks. Where would you go Peyton Thorne?
I would say Peyton Thorne is 65 to 69. I think it might be 69.
You could put him at 69th, and it's going to be hard for me to argue against it.
65 to 69 would be a good place to have him if there was a world that existed that did not have the Big Ten West.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Well, he used to be in the Big Ten East. Could you imagine in the Big Ten West?
The Big Ten West is the life preserver that is floating Peyton Thorne up from the bottom.
I didn't think Mordecai would be this bad. The Greek dude from Minnesota is terrible.
You mean the Greek rifle?
Yeah. Is that what they call him?
The worst preseason nickname of all time. They had a poster, the Greek rifle.
Well, it's just,
I thought Luke Altmaier would be better at Illinois. I thought McNamara would be better at Iowa. But, all these quarterbacks have been terrible.
The Greek rifle, by the way, is missing a little of its oompah.
He's just missing ammo.
Number 69, he's not even the starting quarterback. He's the backup. But Deacon Hill. Deacon Hill's the quarterback at Iowa.
I was going to guess.
He's coming off 12 completions.
Yeah, I don't.
That's a big game for him.
Wait, 12 completions in 2 games. 6 in one, 6 in the other.
It's terrible.
Yeah,
they're so bad.
This is how bad Deacon Hill has been. He's completing 39% of his passes in today's college football.
Yeah. Luke Altmaier.
Who was it I was watching? Was it an NFL? Oh, it was the NFL game the other night. It was the Jets. They had a 12-play, 16-yard drive. Did y'all see that? Were y'all watching Jets Eagles?
Yeah.
I know your Rams were. They had a 12-play, 16-yard drive.
You need some penalties for that.
Yeah, you do. But I immediately thought, boy, that is the most Iowa thing I've ever heard.
Deacon Hill, 69. Luke Altmaier, also Big Ten West, Illinois, 68. The Greek rifle from Minnesota is 67. By the way, that brings up the fact that Minnesota and Iowa play each other this weekend. Brown, we go to mybookie.ag.
I think total's down to 31.5.
What's the total in that contest?
Which would make it the lowest, tied for the lowest total in a Power 5 game in the history of Power 5
Do you remember
games.
who that game was, the Power 5 game?
Yeah, it was last year. It was
You told us the
Minnesota
other
and
day.
Iowa.
Yeah. No, it wasn't.
I swear. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'll
Let's
pull
run
it
it
right
back.
now.
Let's run it back.
Yep, I'm almost positive.
Minnesota and Iowa. I've got it at mybookie.ag. Based on what Lance has just told you, I'm about to give you a value. 32.5 there.
32.5.
Yeah, Lance had it at 31.5.
Yeah.
32.5.
How's that team going to score 32? Either one of them.
I mean, what do you...
the Greek Rifle and Deacon Hill.
There's no way Minnesota, Iowa was... I don't think there's another total in the 30s, Jim. I'm just quickly scrolling through it. Yeah, Air Force, Navy. I mean, you got to go service academies to get in the 30s.
Michigan
36.5.
Michigan State quarterback is 66. Cal's quarterback
yeah,
is
it was
65.
Iowa, Minnesota 31.5 last
Are
year.
you serious? So it's
Yep.
up. It's right at the same one. Unbelievable.
And it went under last year.
Yeah.
Peyton Thorne
Really good
is
this year.
60, by the way. 60.
That's being kind.
60. Behind him, MJ Morris, not the real quarterback at NC State. He's a new guy. Gavin Wimsatt at Rutgers. Trenton Bourquet at Arizona State. Blake Shapen, Baylor. And then Cal, Michigan State, Minnesota, Illinois, Iowa. So Peyton Thorne,
Yeah.
60.
I really don't understand why Peyton Thorne is still playing as much as he's playing. I don't understand that.
Changes this weekend. Just gut feeling. Changes this weekend.
I mean, if Gerner's going to be on that roster next year, I think I start playing him. I don't know if there is an upgrade or not. I mean, Hugh Freeze knows more than we do, but
Yeah.
are you talking about you play Robbie Ashford in front of him?
I think I would, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can't. I mean,
Well,
neither one of them could throw the football.
All
but-
anybody ever says about Ashford is you can't put him in there, Lance, because he can't throw the ball. And I'm like, neither can Peyton Thorne. So you think Auburn plus 6.5 or 6.3? I can't tell with your tiny
6.5.
writing. You think Auburn plus 6.5 because they're going to play more Robbie Ashford and just pound it out on the ground? They're going to play Service Academy football? I do think that's the winning formula for Auburn when you can do it, is just play a Service Academy attack. Pass
Boy, that defense going to have to be really good.
They are, but I mean, what else you going to do?
Well, I like Auburn this weekend to keep it tight. I don't know if they win the game or not.
Yeah.
But I think that's more Hugh Freeze versus Lane Kiffin.
But if you're
and
Hugh
more of Jordan Hare.
Yeah, if you're Hugh Freeze, don't you blow off the old wing tee playbook that you got somewhere and just try to, as much of that as you got in your actual offense, run that with Ashford?
I think if we were flying the next round drone over practice yesterday, hopefully you'd have Jarquez Hunter taking direct snaps from the center in a wild tiger, a wild freeze scenario situation there. Just take the quarterback out of the mix, snap it directly to the running backs.
The old wild Hunter.
According to
he's-
24/7 Clint Brewster's Millions, 16 to 60 is the quarterback discrepancy in this game. Jackson Dart to Peyton Thorne, 16 to 60. In modern day college football, you bet on the 16 a lot more than you do 60. That's the respect you have for Jordan Hare Stadium.
Yeah.
16 to 60 is the quarterback differential.
I don't know. I'm with you. I would like to see more. I just think, the only reason it feels like you're playing Peyton Thorne is because, in theory, he's a better passer.
Yeah.
And I have not seen that he is a better passer.
Didn't you say Carson Beck's number 8 on that list?
Top 10, 8 or 9.
Yeah, I think so. That was 8 to 60, and they lost by 7.
That's
Good
right.
point. Number 9, Carson Beck. 24/7, if you want to see them all, and go read what Clint Brewster's Million says at 24/7. We'll get to the cardiac cocks and everything that happened yesterday, football and over there in baseball, right after LT tells us about Dr. B. You can get this hat that LT has on right there at nextround.store. Nextround.store, go there and get all the gear. But under that hat, you got to go to Dr. B to get that hair.
Dr. B, when I had that second hair analysis done, results when they came back, hair was already 14% thicker, which was double. Dr. B has pioneered the use of NeoGraft hair restoration in Alabama, remains at the forefront of hair preservation in the Southeast. He takes pride treating each patient personally, applying his expertise to produce quality results. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. B for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training, and genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. B today, 205-319-0316 or t3hair.net.
All right, so here we go. Last night, they're down. Western Kentucky's offense churning at halftime, and then what happens in the second half?
little O-C-K-S.
No D in there, but that defense cranks out.
Defense is good.
Second half, 0 points for
right.
Western Kentucky, just 69 total yards for Western Kentucky, and here comes Jack State back. churning up that hill, pushing that rock up the hill. They get a touchdown to make it 17-17 with 5 minutes to play. They get the ball back with just about 2.5 to play. And they go on one of those time-consuming 10-play, 45-yard drives.
Tick, 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 tick.
And I don't know how you say his name, but I'm going to give it a shot. Alan Karakchik.
Yeah, Karakchik. And he fell down kicking the ball. I mean, I don't know how many times you see a kicker fall down and make a field goal of that length.
41 yards.
Wasn't an extra point.
He put all he had into it, Brown.
And he must have.
Couldn't even stand up afterwards.
Give your all for the Cox today, Dunaway. That's what they say before they walk out and they slap the big cock up on the wall there. The big Gamecock Rockstar up on the wall.
Oh, sorry.
Give your all today for JSU.
Yeah,
clocks go to 0, 2017. Jack State wins it.
Yeah, that second half was frustrating if you had the Hilltoppers -7.5. I had Western Kentucky. We ended up splitting last night because we had the over in Middle Tennessee State and Liberty. That game flew over. But I thought when it was 10-0 with Austin Reed, a quarterback mismatch, in my opinion, adjustments made from Jacksonville State.
Zero doubt.
And you look at, 262 to 82 rushing yards. They dominated on the ground, and that's what you get with Zion Webb.
Yep.
The kid is much like maybe what you talk about in Robbie Ashford. Can't throw the football, but boy, he can run.
Zion's a career best 146 rushing for him.
Brody is right. 5 games, 20 days for the Gamecocks.
5 games in
21 days, maybe.
It was
right?
4 and 17. It's been a week
It's
since
been a week,
then,
so
it's
5 and 24.
5 and 24.
I don't
still,
think this
crazy.
is fair to the fan base, though, to not have Saturday games.
Well, I mean, it's the only way that you can get on ESPN, which is the only way you can get the kind of money out of Conference USA deal.
They're paying them for programming middle of the week.
To pay for Rich Rodriguez, who's making, at least USA Today reported, $1 million. And if you watch that game, it's an active construction zone like Vandy. They're building a field house in one end zone. They're going to redo the opposite side
for suites
and all that. I mean, that's the only way you can do that.
I get it, man, but it's just got to suck being a fan. I mean, you just can't go to games every Tuesday and Wednesday night.
I would ask, though. You were there last week.
Yeah,
21,000 fans. That's about what they draw on Saturdays. I just think it's a regional fan base.
Now, I'll be honest. If I was in your situation, I would appreciate during the week.
That's my point, though. Yeah. It's a regional fan base.
Well,
now I think you pull people from Birmingham and the surrounding area who can go there on Tuesday or Wednesday and still go to Alabama and Auburn on Saturday at either place.
So let me tell you, having grown up over there, Lance, and going to games, Coach Burgess, Rick's dad, Bill Burgess, was the legendary coach there that won the national championship at the Division II level. He would literally wait until Alabama and Auburn announced kick times to announce the Jack State kick time.
That's right.
I mean, he would wait and try to basically not counter program, but time shift or whatever.
If they played they played day games, he played night games.
And I have literally been at Jack State games that kicked at noon when Bama was the 2:30 CBS kick, and at 2 o'clock it could be 21-21, Gamecocks driving for the win. It looks like a fire drill. People hitting the exits, heading home to the Bama game. So I think whatever you can do at a place like Jacksonville State, I've said it about UAB before. UAB fans get upset when I say this. Whatever you could do to stay away from Alabama and Auburn TV times, I would do that for attendance. And then if you could be on TV too, it's even a bigger plus.
That's right. LT mentioned the other games last night. Liberty still unbeaten. Crazy fourth quarter touchdown, 42-35. That was a 35-35 game with Middle Tennessee win over at lanceslock.com. And then Southern Mississippi gets blasted by South Alabama 55-3, and they called off the dogs in the second half. Our representation was down at that game. Kane Womack, I would imagine, is getting calls from places like Michigan State and Northwestern to one day be a coach. They're now 4-3 after their beatdown of a good Oklahoma State team all of a sudden. My takeaway from this, without even bringing it up, Browns echoed what I said last night watching that game. How far has Southern Mississippi fallen?
Jeff Bauer really had a strong program there. And then for a minute, when Larry Eustace was there, they won 11 games.
He was a basketball coach.
No, not Larry Eustace. Who I'm talking about?
Oh, Larry Fedora.
Larry Fedora.
Yeah,
Larry Fedora.
Game, yeah.
They won 11 games.
Yeah,
and
he parlayed that into the North Carolina job.
The fond memories I had of Southern Miss is we'll play you anywhere.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. And that was Jeff Bauer. And Jeff Bauer, I thought, was a really, really good coach. And I think it kind of got stale, and he kind of got pushed out the door. But outside of what you had with Fedora, there really hasn't been any success.
For all you kids out there in the audience, there was a time when Southern Miss on an SEC schedule scared the crap out of the SEC team.
That's
right. When you saw that game on the schedule, you're like, we'll play SEC games that are easier wins for us than Southern Miss.
Didn't they beat Alabama and Auburn
in the same year?
Same year.
Yeah. Now, I don't think those are great Alabama and Auburn teams. I think that was 1990, maybe.
That's still Pat Dye, Gene Stallings.
Yeah, Pat Dye, Gene Stallings in his first year. Pat Dye nearing the end. Yeah. I think they beat Alabama and Auburn in the same season.
Gene Stallings lost to Southern Miss before he won a game at Alabama.
That is correct.
Yeah, I was at that game.
Yeah.
Legion Field.
Hotter than 10 Hills, I bet.
It was September game.
September day game at Legion Field.
Hard to keep your bourbon and Coca-Cola ice from
Oh,
melting.
I remember the old $2 flask we had.
Yeah.
And back then it was just Jim Beam. Jim Beam was like our highfalutin bourbon back then.
Highfalutin.
Business idea. Preloaded flask. We sell them coming in, $2 flask.
Well, Jim, you would lose a lot of money on that.
Well,
you know how much
we'd have to
bourbon's in
change
there?
the price now,
Oh.
but we'd have to change the price.
Well, also, we don't have a liquor license, which I think is probably going to get us in
This would
trouble.
be illegal. Those people, the people that were parking cars didn't have parking licenses either.
We're running hooch.
For
basically.
Southern Miss, so it's a 2-10 best case. And boy, that's just it's a sad situation for that program.
That program used to be such a good program. I know conferences have left them behind over the years, but man, it used to be a good program.
Well, they're in a good conference
Well,
now.
I mean, South Alabama and Troy, to a certain extent, are competing on a
Freaking James Madison.
James
Come on.
Madison. Yeah, you
Come
can
on.
compete in the Sun Belt. I don't know
Sun
what's
Belt's a
happening.
great conference. Great place for Southern Miss. Come
it
on,
would
grow
seem to
up,
be a good
Southern
place
Miss.
to recruit. Mississippi puts out a ton of football players. Louisiana puts out a ton of football players. South Alabama.
Let's go. You know what's hurt Southern Miss?
South Alabama.
South Alabama, Troy, and Jack State now.
Getting good, yeah, because
absolutely.
they used to gobble up the players that were not good enough to play at State, Ole Miss, or maybe academically State, Ole Miss, Alabama,
I think
LSU.
I think Georgia State's having a good year. I think
They are.
I think
What do you think Will Hall makes at Southern Miss?
I'm going to say 450,000.
I would. The bigger question is what's his buyout? Because this is it. This is it.
He's got a salary of $800,000.
Yeah, I'm going to
Good money if you can get it.
I'm going to say he owes a little back.
Yeah.
Based on where that program is right now.
One more thing here in this opening segment, right after I tell you about the great folks with Milo's. They've got those loaded fries ready to go for you for lunch or dinner today, or maybe as an appetizer, or maybe a snack as you're watching football or baseball tonight. Let's go with the Mexi fries. That's upper left corner on the picture if you're watching us on all our video platforms. That is queso, bacon, and jalapenos. That's the Mexi fries. The saucy fries, 100% pure ground beef, grilled onions, Milo sauce, and queso. So it's the Mexi fries or the saucy fries. And if you download Milo's mobile app and use our promo code NEXTROUND, you get to try the fries for free, the new loaded fries for free. Just download the Milo's mobile app and use the promo code NEXTROUND to try one of their new loaded fries for free with our friends at Milo's. Baseball last night. Phillies win at 10-0. They lead that series 2-0. Day off for them today. But I got to throw some numbers at you real quick.
Man, it's crazy what they're doing.
6 home runs in 2 NLCS games, 15 in their last 4 playoff games, and 19 in their 8 postseason games, which is second most all time. They're killing the baseball.
And I don't think it makes you feel better, Lance, if you're a Braves fan. But at least if you're a Braves fan, you can say, well, it wasn't just us.
Yeah.
You know, this
Well, that
team
team's
is
hot.
This team's on fire.
Yeah, and they just, you heard Buster talk about how good that clubhouse is. I mean, they are just playing confident baseball right now, swinging it well. Kyle Schwarber now leads all-time. He's tied with Reggie Jackson, 18 postseason home runs for a left-hander. Took Reggie Jackson 77 games. This only took Schwarber 60 games.
How about that?
And I didn't realize when they inserted him into the leadoff spot back on June 2nd, they were 24th in runs scored. They worked their way all the way up to 5th.
Helped by the fact that Trey Turner went from hitting like 1-something to 3-something over the end of the season.
Now, they got plenty of studs out there.
They really do. So Schwarber ties a Reggie Jackson record for postseason. The last game, Nick Castellanos didn't have one last night, but he hit 5 home runs in 3 games, which tied Reggie Jackson's run that made him Mr. October.
Yeah, I mean, bottom line is they're just hitting a lot of bombs right now. But Schwarber, to hit 197 as a leadoff guy, and he didn't steal one base the entire year. I mean, that's the most unorthodox leadoff hitter of all time.
So how many homers did he have, though? He had like
40-something,
didn't he?
He had 45 hits, 46 homers.
Yeah, I mean,
45 non-home run hits, and 46 home runs.
If I've got a leadoff guy and he can either steal 46 bases or hit 46 homers, I'll take the 46 homers.
Schwarber looks
And
like
you're
the
not
guy.
going to get thrown out with a homer.
You're right.
Schwarber looks like the guy who you play slow pitch softball with. He's walking up drinking his Bud Light.
Yeah.
And he sets it down behind him.
And just hits
and
a
he's just gonna hit a
moonshot.
home run. He picks up his beer and trots around the bases.
You know, some of those leagues you didn't even have to try it. If you hit it out, they just save the time and you can walk right back to the dugout.
Speeds up the game a little bit.
That way you can bring your beer to the plate.
Meanwhile, me and my fraternity brothers are out there with full pants on. We're hitting singles and sliding and breaking up double plays.
Isn't that the most Dunaway thing ever? You know who was going to cleats high?
Oh,
in a double
LT's team
play?
beat us back in the day. Probably holding Bud Lights.
You know what? I almost got thrown out of a slow pitch softball game. Does that surprise you?
Not with your temper.
It had nothing to do with my temper.
There it is.
That's not a temper. I was making fun of Dunaway.
Did you throw your bat?
No, I did not throw my bat. Why do you think it was temper related? I don't even have a temper.
Because you
Usually
gave me
when somebody gets thrown out of the game, it's not because they're being
No,
nice.
well, I mean, all I did was I was playing second, and there was a hit to the outfield, and I deked the guy, which that's what you do in baseball, right? You act like the ball's coming in, so the guy hits the dirt, so he can't round and go to third.
It's illegal in slow pitch softball.
You know when I learned that?
What?
Shortly after I did that, the guy was like, "Buddy, if I see you do that again, I'm throwing you out of the game. This is your warning." I was like, "Holy crap!"
So you
man.
didn't get thrown out, though.
I did not. I said almost thrown out. Nothing to do with temper.
I just went temper related because I still use the putter that you gave me, which is apparently a really nice putter.
It is.
Except it has a little dent in the metal.
A little bit of a curve in it.
A little dent in the metal. And inevitably, when somebody has to bring no matter who I'm playing with, anywhere in the world, and he said, "Hey, can you bring me my putter?" They'll always ask, "Why is there a dent in the putter?"
Yeah,
and I'm like, my friend Ryan Brown's got a little bit of a temper.
Yeah, that also was not temper related. That was a bag boy rushing to get a bag in before a storm hit.
Yeah.
On a curb, and my bag went to the ground and it scratched a driver and dented that putter.
Oh,
That's okay.
it's okay.
He didn't mean to do
It's
it.
a better story when I tell it.
Yeah.
Baseball tonight.
I'm sure they were. Oh, you ought to see Brown.
He missed a putt. Hit a rock with his putter. Astros and Rangers tonight. Max Scherzer starting Game 3 for the Rangers.
They had pitched
nice.
at September 12th.
Yeah, nice to have you pick up Max Scherzer.
Looking to go up 3-0 in this series, which would absolutely close the door. But if you go back, series in September, where they played in Arlington, Houston swept the Rangers and completely destroyed them, and they bombed Scherzer.
Yep.
So, this is still the Astros. You get them here, you get them down 3-0, this thing's over. But you let them creep back. Watch out.
Let's just fast forward to the World Series. It's going to be Rangers Phillies.
They need to get Altuve going if the Astros are going to make it. He's 0 for 8 in this series so far. All right, so that's baseball. That's football. Last night, today, everything that's going on. Troy says Max Scherzer is going to get shelled tonight by the Astros. All right, when we come back, we'll get back into college football, some NFL news to get to. Richard Cross is our first guest coming up at 10 Central today. Also, Elijah McAllister, Auburn's captain, before they're back at Jordan-Hare. Erik Ainge on the show, traditional guest of ours when Tennessee and Bama play each other. Overtime a little bit later on, all that coming up. The show being brought to you by our friends at Alabama Power. Do you know you can set payment and your usage alerts right now on your Alabama Power account if you download the mobile app by searching Alabama Power in your app store? Visit alabamapower.com/mobile app. Control everything, including finding out when your payment's due, making the payment online, and anything else you need to do with your account. Download the mobile app today, alabamapower.com/mobile app. alabamapower.com/mobile app.
Never miss anything Auburn. Watch Village Vice at Wardam Pods on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Going to a big football game? Walking around all day? Then you'll want comfortable shoes. This is Wes McClooney, owner of the New Balance Birmingham store. Score a touchdown with a new pair of ultra-comfortable running or walking shoes. Come to the New Balance Birmingham store. I'm telling you, we'll make sure you have a perfect fit and we'll treat you like the starting QB. Our job is to make sure your feet are happy. Visit the New Balance Birmingham store on Highway 280 next to Chick-fil-A. Your feet will thank you.
The Next Round Golf Cart is here. Your chance to play 4 area golf courses for just $89. Get 18 holes of golf and cart at Limestone Springs, Cross Creek, The Meadows, and the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. That's a value of $247 for just $89. Or get the Next Round Deluxe Golf Cart for just $119. It gets you all 4 courses with cart, plus an exclusive Next Round Golf t-shirt, koozie, golf tees, and a sticker. There are no restrictions. The cart is good through September 2024. Get your golf cart now at nextround.store.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round. You've heard me for years talk about our friends at Bromberg's Jewelers, and we welcome you to stop by and see that great customer service at the Mountain Brook and Summit locations. But we'd also love for you to check out their new online shop. They've got plenty to choose from. Great gifts, big and small. Available online, they've got David Yurman, Tudor watches, select diamond and gemstone jewelry, William Henry, seasonal and favorite giftware items, and baby gifts as well. They've even got an online sale section. For more information, Brombergs.com.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live will share the latest interviews and videos from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and campuses all over the college landscape. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Live Daily Show. Jim, Lance, and Ryan will share their thoughts, and remember, you can always see the old shows on the Next Round Live YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, and don't forget to comment. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. It's Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters, it's the will to prepare to win." Bryant bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that's right for you. Stop by one of the 7 Central Alabama locations today or give them a call at 1-855-4-BRYANT to begin preparing for your financial future today. You'll find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about. Bryant Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
All right, here we go.
I've got one.
Little college football segment.
Rockstar's got a good sound effect for it.
Oh, yeah, you do have one.
You do.
That'd scare him.
You do. Hey, before LT tells us about Bromberg's, there is somebody still chasing a ring who's back with a team that has a chance to win one. Julio Jones gets picked up by the Eagles yesterday. It's just a 1-year contract. Practice squad first. He'll get up to speed, and then he'll be a contributor. Played last year with my Buccaneers. 24 catches for 299 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's played for 10 years.
Boy, the Eagles love them some SEC players, don't they?
They do. They do. Now, part of the reason that this is a fit, A.J. Brown says learned a lot from Julio when he was teammates with him, loved playing with him. Devontae always credits that he studied Julio's route running to help him with his game. So those two are in the locker room with him. But I was reading The Athletic, and again, a different story at NFL.com, and both of them use this line. I don't know if they cut and pasted, but both of them use this line. 7-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro, future Hall of Famer.
I was going to ask if you guys thought he was.
Oh, yeah.
Easy Hall of Famer?
Yeah, I think he's an easy Hall of Famer. I mean,
wow.
There was a good 5 years he was a top 3 wide receiver. Yeah, I think he's an easy Hall of Famer. And I know Jerry Rice ultimately played for the Raiders and the Seahawks, but it's hard to believe that Julio Jones, when you saw him playing for the Falcons, I thought he was a career Falcon.
Me too.
And now he's been with 4 different teams.
Well, he's chasing the ring. He reminds me, who is it, Gary Payton and a couple of those that ended up in Laker uniforms at some point?
Yeah. Well, he's chasing a ring, and look, the guy loves the game of football, and he can ultimately be the number 3. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Quez Watkins has now been put on IR. One of the reasons they went out and they signed him. But, yeah, I mean, I think he's good enough to be their number 3 right now.
In all-time yardage, there are only a few guys ahead of him.
He's 18th right now.
Steve Smith Sr. These are the guys ahead of him that are not in the Hall of Fame.
By the way,
Steve Smith Sr., who's just waiting for time to expire.
He is the leading active guy in the NFL now.
Steve Smith's been out of the game since 2016. How's he not already in the Hall?
Because apparently he has a little anger issue.
Oh, you don't think O.J. Simpson is in the Hall of Fame?
He got in the Hall of Fame before his kicked
before
up.
his anger issue?
Yeah.
Reggie Wayne also has been out of the league long enough to be in the Hall. Is not in the Hall yet. I'm just showing you how tough it is for some of these receivers, guys. Now, this is Steve Smith and Reggie Wayne. When you watched them, you thought those are automatic Hall of Famers. Not in yet.
Did Reggie Wayne get in this year? Is he coming up?
I don't know.
I think he was eligible last year.
Okay.
The
He's been
only
out
thing
since
I would say
2014.
about Reggie Wayne, as good as he was, people will say he played with Peyton Manning.
And Marvin Harrison, who was right in front of him, all-time yardage leader, who's in the Hall of Fame, by the way. Andre Johnson, been out of the game now for 7 years.
Yeah, and he should be in the Hall of Fame.
Anquan Bolden also has been out of the game 7 years, not in the Hall of Fame.
Baldwin, to me, is one of the borderline guys, I would say, on the outside.
Okay, but Julio's after him. These guys are ahead of Julio.
Henry Ellard, he's been out long enough that he's not getting in the Hall of Fame.
He's not getting in.
And then Julio. And he's in front of Torrey Holt, who I think you would have Torrey Holt.
Torrey Holt's in.
No, not according to this.
Yeah, I guess he's not, because we had the conversation 3 years ago where he was eligible but not in.
Yeah, Torrey Holt behind him.
That's a joke.
Pritchard
guy should be in.
Pritchard says, give me Julio's touchdown numbers. He says Julio's lack of touchdowns while the catches is wild.
Yeah, I think he had double digits 1 year, I think.
63 touchdowns in
his whole career.
His whole career.
Which has been 10 years.
He did not catch a lot of touchdowns. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about Joe Burrow had 60 touchdowns his senior year or junior year at LSU.
Yeah. So to put that in perspective, Jerry Rice had 208. I mean, to get in the top 20, you got to have at least 105. Tim Brown had 105.
And just think of how we were voting now. I mean, we've got video game numbers for wide receivers. Mm-hmm. And Julio was part of this, I know, but it even has gone crazier the last few years with these wide receiver numbers.
But if
Tim Brown was a stud, but Julio Jones was a better receiver.
I mean, that's why I brought it up was I brought it up because when they were just in two different articles saying and future Hall of Famer, I was like, woo, future Hall of Famer, Julio Jones.
I wonder if
I feel good about Julio Jones getting in.
Yeah, it was guaranteed to start the conversation.
Until I
now
give you some
you
of those
feel
names.
good. It went from sunny to partly cloudy.
I would go steak on this.
Oh, no, I got Eric Berry for a Hall of Fame steak. He's in the College Hall of Fame.
Oh, Eric Berry is one of the best ever. If he had not had that cancer deal.
Yeah, which is why I think he should still get in. But
well, that's one of the reasons, and if he got in, would get in because of that.
That's why I made the statement.
But all those guys in front of him feel like pretty good Hall of Famers, and they're still waiting. And now Julio's about to reset his clock, too. I mean, if he takes a snap in a game, that clock resets.
You know why? Because even though he won't have a major role in it, he knows how important being on a Super Bowl winning team would be.
And I was going to ask that, like if that amazing catch he made actually did close out the Super Bowl, you think you view him differently?
Lock Hall of Fame.
Yeah, probably. And look, I mean, there's a chance he's going to have the opportunity down the stretch. Philadelphia's going to be in the mix, and he makes a couple of big plays. They end up winning a championship. That could cement it.
That's right. And really, this is the kind of pickup that you only need him to do something in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
A couple of big catches in the playoffs, boom, he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, he signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year because of Tom Brady, and if they were going to be in the playoffs, maybe they win a couple of games, and that increases his profile.
It's wild.
And Daniel's right. No one credits Julio as a blocker. Those Alabama receivers early on, when they played murder ball back in the day, could flat out block.
Yep.
And Julio was one of those.
I mean, it's crazy though watching the Eagles. Like former Alabama quarterback Jalen Hurts fakes it to former Georgia running back DeAndre Swift, and he scans the field and sees former Alabama receivers Julio Jones and Devontae Smith, or former Ole Miss receiver A.J. Brown. I mean, you watch the Eagles, they have got so many SEC players on that roster. Pretty good team, too.
Tell us about Bromberg's, man.
Family owned and operated since 1836, Bromberg's established that solid reputation as a fine purveyor of quality diamonds as well as jewelry, timepieces, and gifts. Bromberg's also has that extensive giftware department to service the registry of brides and grooms. Don't forget, holidays right around the corner. If you're thinking about popping the question, go see the Diamond Specialist. 2 locations, Mountain Brook and the Summit. You can also view their online store today. Go to brombergs.com.
Terrell Owens already in the Hall of Fame, right?
Yes.
While we're talking Hall of Fame wide receivers from the NFL, Terrell Owens apparently hit by a car either Sunday or Monday, late Sunday, early Monday, after a pickup basketball game. He's okay, did not need medical attention. The car hit him in the knees. It was an altercation after a pickup basketball game. You get this occasionally when you have to call your own fouls on a pickup basketball game.
I remember Lawrence Phillips. You remember that name?
Yeah, I do. The former Nebraska running back. Very troubled.
Former Ram.
Yeah, drafted 5th overall by the Rams. Dick Vermeil went and picked him up at the airport. But after he had that abbreviated career, he was playing a backyard football game with a bunch of kids. He got in his car and tried to run some of the kids over.
Kids, Lance.
Yeah.
I mean, this sounds like 2 adults, right? With Terrell, this is kids.
If it's Terrell Owens and it was over a foul or no foul call in a pickup basketball game? Who do you think he was the one that called the foul or was doing the fouling?
I think he was the one that probably called the foul.
I'm going to go hard foul.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever called a foul in pickup basketball.
Yeah.
It's a no-no.
You're not supposed to call the fouls unless it totally disrupts your shot.
Do you guys like that Nerdo commercial with the two guys walking to the car and he's like, I think we got played. They're playing pickleball.
Yeah, no way those guys are 70. No way those guys. Either one of you have ever played pickleball?
I have not, man. It's a popular game, but I always look at pickleball like I look at Frisbee golf. I had a guy try to convince me to play Frisbee golf once, and I'm like, but I enjoy actual golf.
Yep.
Like in the time I could go in the woods and play Frisbee golf, I could play a round of actual golf. So I'm just going to keep doing that. And pickleball, I feel like I'll just go play tennis.
You know, the guy that created the kickball league around here made a fortune on it. He's no longer with us, unfortunately. But me and somebody that you know were putting together a pickleball league right before the pandemic. And it kind of made everything fall apart. And it would have been the perfect time to put that together.
Well, I think at Veterans Park, where you occasionally run the dogs, I think that's what they're building there, right?
Probably.
Yeah. It looks like they're building something. It looks like they're building a bunch of pickleball courts.
You can't be a net monster in that thing, right? Because you can only get so close to the net, I think.
Oh, I don't know the rules.
Like, it's not like tennis where you can get right up on the net.
I don't know the rules.
I don't know the rules.
Yeah, I don't.
Why not?
Well, I think there's a rule against it.
Yeah.
I think there's a line you cannot cross. I don't think you can be a net monster. I don't know how
I
much.
don't like lines I can't cross, Brown.
How much exercise do you get in pickleball?
I don't think a lot.
It doesn't look like you move a ton. Like tennis, like if you play singles in tennis, you can get a lot of exercise in that.
I always said it reminds me of we're humans standing on a ping pong table.
That's what it looks like, yeah.
Like we're those little foosball men playing
That's right.
soccer.
So do you think there's some aliens that are actually playing like
Playing
ping
us?
pong with us?
Yeah.
You know, the interesting thing is pickleball started out as an older sport. A lot of senior citizens were playing it. And it really seems like a sport where hand-eye is very important.
Yeah, it's faster, right?
Yeah, but your hand-eye obviously
it depends on the competition.
gradually
you're playing,
decreases.
Right? Younger people playing pickleball, the game's going to move faster than the slow lobbing. We got a special guest, hopefully in studio with us later today, if not right after the show, for an event coming up. And we'll be there tonight at the Comedy Club.
Yeah, we got a table. Looking forward to that. You've never seen TJ Miller in concert. You're going to absolutely love him.
Big fan of Silicon Valley, though. Love that show.
Ehrlich. He was so good in that. The show went downhill after that. But TJ's going to be in studio with us at some point today, probably in the 11 o'clock hour. But if you want to see him one night only, the Gentle Giant Tour, Scotty just pulled it for you right there. Doors are going to open at 6:15. It's an 18-plus show. Get your tickets right now. You can have a nice dinner there. Obviously, they've got the servers that'll be bringing you cocktails all night. Great bar area. Show will start at 7:30, one night only. To order your tickets right now, 444-0008. That's 444-0008 or stardome.com.
Can't wait to that, and can't wait to watch The Last Call when you sit down with him. It sounds like it'd be a lot of fun.
I rolled in with a case of vodka, Red Mount vodka today. We're not going to drink the whole case.
Did you get any looks?
No, well, it was sealed up. Nobody knew what it was.
Because yesterday I came up the elevator with an old suitcase, and I was on the elevator with somebody that kept trying to slyly glance over to see, why is this man carrying an old suitcase?
We never said
Wife and I had a little bit of an argument.
Yeah, I'm going shack up here for a while.
We never said what I thought it was. I thought the Brown Bandit Rockstar, that looks like the kind of suitcase that you would that a ventriloquist would have its dummy in.
Oh my God, that's so
and I
true.
thought when he brought it in, I was like, please don't tell me the Brown Bandit's about to have a ventriloquist act.
Please do it one of these weeks.
Who should we pick? I say we go to Jacksonville State.
Yes.
The Gamecocks? I love Cocks. Oh, wow. Hey,
now.
Oh, sorry.
Hey now, speaking of wood. See, they're made out of wood.
Don't I have to explain them when we laugh?
All right. College football. We'll get back to that when we come back here on the show. One other thing before we go, because LT, what was the movie you told nobody to ever watch?
Dear Zachary.
Dear Zachary. And when you told nobody to watch it, what did everybody do?
We watched it, and I regret it at the
being
moment.
serious. It wasn't one of those things that I'm just trying to get you to watch.
Yeah.
The reverse psychology. It was not that.
I did not listen. Should have listened.
Okay, this is from one of my newsletters, which one day I didn't read my newsletters that came in and what happened on the show. I didn't know Suzanne Summers had died Monday.
That's right.
The only
celebrity birthday. Happy birthday, Suzanne Summers.
Since I subscribed to all of those.
She's getting flowers today.
The master of thighs.
I get 3 newsletters every day of big news events.
Okay.
The one day I have not read them since I subscribed to all of them was that day, and I blew it with Suzanne Summers. One of the newsletters today, it's from The Hustle, and I thought of you instantly. There was a 6-episode BBC show back in the 1960s called The Corpse Can't Play.
Oh, my gosh.
The Corpse Can't Play.
Even the title. Dear Zachary, I didn't know what it was about.
It
was a guy writing a
disappeared
letter.
from existence. The BBC deemed it too scary and had it all destroyed. A collector has found one episode. I would like to see it. Would you like to see it?
It's an actual documentary?
It was a 6-part BBC episode, 6 episodes, so it sounds like it's scripted.
Yeah, it's scripted. That's not documentary.
But it's the 1960s. I wonder if by 1960s standards, it was deemed too scary and destroyed, ordered to be destroyed by the BBC. And a collector has found one of the episodes.
You got to remember, 1973 was The Exorcist.
Which is scary.
It's terrifying is what it is. So if it's worse than The Exorcist, I don't think I want to see it.
The Corpse
This might be
Can't
like
Play.
that doll.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I woke up in the middle of the night last night and had a little vision of that doll.
Oh,
I really did.
Is it Robert?
Yeah.
It was Robert, yeah.
And now you're in all black today. Has it taken over your soul?
No.
Okay. The Corpse Can't Play.
Had to turn the fan on, though.
Because it did say you felt hot. The Corpse Can't Play. I
what
sort of
if-
want them to air it. I want the collector to send it to Netflix or
All right,
something.
well, next segment, we got to do something on this because I got to find out what The Corpse Can't Play is about.
Okay,
That
okay.
sounds like somebody like if you were dogging out Peyton Thorne, if you had a game day sign, The Corpse Can't Play.
Lunsford's got it if you want it.
It's about Auburn's passing attack.
What's it about, Rocky?
Lunsford's got it.
Okay.
So The Corpse Can't Play is one episode of a 6-episode anthology series, like a Black Mirror kind of thing, but it's horror.
Okay,
That was
so
done back
that's
in
the
day.
name of one
That's
episode.
the episode they found.
Okay.
It's here's the synopsis. Ronnie's party is going well, but his mother Alice is waiting for her husband Tom to return from the office to help supervise. The doorbell rings, but instead of Tom, it's Simon Potter, a strange little boy who Ronnie dislikes and who knows some unusual and horrifying variations of children's party games.
Let's play Trivial
You,
Pursuit.
you know what I think this
This
is?
is a horrifying version of it. Oh, okay.
Now, let's play 7 Minutes
Lunsford,
in Hell.
correct me if I'm wrong, but this could be a setup for Black Mirror to take this and do a new spin on it.
I mean, this sounds like a Black Mirror style anthology
Yep.
series just back from the 60s. So yeah.
And if you've got this out there and everybody's like, damn, I want to see this.
Yeah.
And if you actually produce a new 2024 version.
You kids ever play Twister?
And then it cut to the little 8-year-old being twisted in half.
Twisted.
It doesn't
That's the
even,
way we remember the rules.
it doesn't even sound that scary, though.
I hit green. I didn't know I was going to die.
I know, but it's the 1960s. That's what I'm saying. By 2023, the stuff we've done since then, I wonder if we would even think it was scary.
Oh, is it black and white? Is
Yeah.
It?
Oh, it's the 60s.
Hard pass. I don't
16
watch-
millimeter black and white film that was found in 2016. It's the only surviving episode.
No, thank you. If it's not high def anymore, I just don't watch it.
Casablanca's black and white.
Yeah, but
It's
it's not
not
high
4K?
def. It's got to fill my screen. I hate when my screen's squeezed down for anything.
Yeah, it's got too much talking
It's
for Brown.
1968. What do you expect?
What? It ain't going to fill my screen.
All right, Corpse Can't Play. We'll see if it's much like Taylor Swift dating Travis Kelce, if it's just a promotional tool. LT thinks everything's a promotional tool now. This one's for Black Mirror coming up. Speaking of promotions, please tell us about our friends at Hemp Hill.
I got a story and trash on the table, definitely promotional.
Hemp
Hemp
Hill.
Hill Services, yes. The name Birmingham has trusted since 1954. Plumbing, heating, cooling, anything you need. Hard to stop a train. Right now, they've got a $69 fall tune-up for the month of October. Just mention next round when you call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the team at Hemp Hill Services. For more information, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
Hey, if you're looking for Birmingham's best pizza, you need to stop in and see our friends at Slice Pizza and Brew. It's as local as you can get, from the ingredients that go into every pizza to the beer on tap. For a great lunch or dinner, go see our friends today, Vestavia or Lakeview at Slice.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tenali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tenali.
The Next Round Golf Cart is here. Your chance to play 4 area golf courses for just $89. Get 18 holes in Cart at Limestone Springs, Cross Creek, The Meadows, and the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. A $247 value for just $89. Get your golf cart now at nextround.store.
It's college football time in Alabama. This is Congressman Robert Adderholt. I grew up an Alabama fan, Roll Tide, but my wife, Caroline, grew up an Auburn fan, War Eagle. But no matter who you pull for, whether it's the Lions of the University of North Alabama or the Gamecocks of Jacksonville State or any other school in between, I want to wish all the players, the coaches, and especially the fans another great college football season here in Alabama. I'm Robert Adderholt, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Adderholt for Congress.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who miss the fairway all day and still pull out the big stick, the type of guys who will always prefer to be behind the grill than in front of the camera, and the men who never let their friends forget about a high school nickname. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
As summer starts to fade, get ready to welcome the arrival of fall. But hey, it's not just football season making an entrance. In the world of pest, it's fall invader season. Hold on tight because we've got 4 major troublemakers stepping into the spotlight. Box elder bugs, kudzu bugs, ladybugs, and stink bugs. These pests don't just knock, they barge in like they own the place. But fear not, dial up Wayne's Pest Control now, 865-588-6686, and let's show those fall invaders who's boss. Don't let pests crash your party. Take charge today.
Red Wing Shoes is pleased to announce the ultimate fit and comfort savings event during the month of October. Mention the Next Round and receive a special discount of up to $30 off. Visit your local Red Wing Shoe store in Pelham or Trussville to have your feet electronically measured. A certified fit specialist will then recommend the proper footwear and orthotic to ensure you receive a comfortable pair of boots or shoes. So be prepared as the fall weather begins to change. Enjoy a pair of classic Red Wing Pecos pull-ons, Heritage Iron Rangers, or Vask hiking boots from Red Wing.